It baffles me that Reacher killed this minor character in Season 3's final episode. Reacher Season 3 finished in the chaotic fashion we've come to expect with the action series, but despite the protagonist justifiably offing several key villains, I still can't believe he killed one minor character. After thwarting Quinn's ambush and heading back to Beck's party to disrupt the arms deal, the central characters managed to take down Quinn and Polly while offering a satisfying ending to Reacher Season 3. While their initial plan was supposed to be stealthy, Reacher's use of shotguns caused all hell to break loose, culminating in a full-blown shootout in and around Beck's mansion. Unsurprisingly, Reacher had no issues with taking down as many of Quinn's men as he could find, with the protagonist looking extra bloodthirsty in the finale. Given Xavier Quinn is arguably Reacher's best villain, as well as his most personal emotions seem to get the better of the leading man throughout the season, particularly in the last episode. Not only was he as ruthless as ever, but he even went against his usually pragmatic judgment and killed a seemingly irrelevant side character, the kind of decision that proved his mission was motivated purely by revenge. Reacher didn't need to kill the truck driver in Season 3's finale. While many of Reacher's kills were necessary and even warranted in Season 3's finale, killing the truck driver didn't need to happen. Following the ambush, Reacher and his crew kept the truck driver alive so that they could drive through the front gate of Beck's estate without Polly suspecting any foul play, a plan that proved successful. However, after parking the trucks, the protagonist searched for some rope to tie up the driver, but after failing to find any, he killed him instead. Although the scene was painted as humorous, it highlighted how savage Reacher was throughout Season 3. Even without any rope, Reacher could have easily knocked out the driver and hid him in the back of the truck, which would have been just as effective as shooting him. Even without any rope, Reacher could have easily knocked out the driver and hid him in the back of the truck, which would have been just as effective as shooting him. Of course, there is always the chance he would have woken up and caused problems before the heroes completed their mission, but executing him felt like overkill. Whereas Quinn and Polly's Reacher deaths felt unavoidable, killing the truck driver highlighted that, despite his good nature, Reacher still has some moral flaws as he showed a complete disregard for his victim's life, despite knowing nothing about his backstory. Reacher isn't the kind of show that usually sparks moral debates, at least not in the traditional sense. Its titular hero is a walking battering ram with a code of justice so sharp it could slice steel. But every now and then, the show throws a wrench in that moral compass. That's exactly what happened in the final episode of Reacher Season 3, when Jack Reacher made the shocking decision to kill a relatively minor character, a move that's been echoing in my head ever since. Why that character? Why that moment? It baffles me. Not because Reacher isn't capable of killing, he clearly is, but because this particular death feels so strangely cold and disproportionate, even for him. The victim, a character on the edge of redemption. Let's talk about who Reacher killed, Polly Alvarez. Not a big name in the series, not a central villain, or even someone with a lengthy backstory. Polly was one of the more low-level operatives working for Langston's mercenary outfit. He wasn't innocent, sure. He stood guard, moved shipments, and took orders. But he wasn't a sadist. He wasn't particularly cruel. In fact, there was something almost reluctant about him. In his few lines, we saw flickers of uncertainty, hesitation when things got truly ugly, like he was in it more out of fear than conviction. In one of the quieter scenes leading up to the finale, Polly helped a wounded teammate when others wouldn't. He didn't join in when the others mocked Russo's death or celebrated the more violent kills. There were subtle cues that Polly was human. He might have even been redeemable. That's what made Reacher's execution style takedown of him so deeply unsettling. Reacher's code, or is it? Throughout the series, Reacher has been portrayed as a man of principle. He kills, yes, but not indiscriminately. He goes after those who deserve it, those who've caused harm, who threaten others, who revel in destruction. When Reacher kicks in a door and crushes someone's windpipe, it's usually with moral clarity. We don't flinch. We cheer. But when he corners Polly in the warehouse, Polly unarmed, already surrendering, and coldly shoots him without a word, it feels different. There's no last-minute lunge, no hidden weapon, no gotcha moment that justifies it. Just Reacher, stoic as always, executing a man who posed no immediate threat. Where was the code then? Was it personal? One theory is that this wasn't about right or wrong, it was about personal rage. Reacher had been pushed to his emotional limit. Russo was dead. The mission had spiraled. Langston had unleashed chaos that cost innocent lives. Maybe Reacher snapped, and Polly, standing between him and closure, became the unfortunate symbol of everything that had gone wrong. Still, even that feels off. Reacher's strength has always been his ability to stay focused in the chaos. He dissects problems like puzzles. He doesn't lash out. That's what separates him from his enemies. So for him to kill a man like Polly at that moment in that way feels like a betrayal not just of Polly, but of who Reacher is. The show's moral ambiguity is growing. Maybe this moment was deliberate. Maybe the writers wanted us to be uncomfortable. Reacher is evolving, not just as a character, but as a narrative. Season 3 has been darker, more psychological. It's taken more risks. We've seen Reacher get closer to people, and we've seen him hurt in ways that go beyond broken bones. This killing might be a signal. Reacher's moral clarity is blurring. The line between justice and revenge is getting harder to see. The code he lives by is becoming more complicated. It's a bold move, but also a dangerous one. Because Reacher is his code. If he becomes just another angry man with a gun, the whole premise starts to unravel. Could Polly have been used differently? What truly nags at me is how much more powerful Polly's story could have been. He could have been the wild card, the one who flipped sides, who offered intel in exchange for protection, who gave Reacher a moment of connection, or even a reminder that not all the enemy is evil. Imagine Reacher hesitating for just a second. Imagine Polly begging, "I didn't sign up for this," or "let me walk away." Imagine Reacher letting him live, not because Polly deserved it, but because Reacher chose mercy. That's the kind of moment that builds legend. Instead, Polly got a bullet in the chest and was left face down in the dirt, just another nameless casualty. Fan reactions are divided. Unsurprisingly, the fan base is torn. Some argue it was justice. Polly was part of the machine, and being part of it means bearing the consequences. Others feel it was a rare misstep for the show, a jarring beat that undermined the careful moral structure we've come to expect. Reddit threads are buzzing with questions like, did Reacher go too far? And was that really necessary? The fact that people are talking about it is a testament to how effective and uncomfortable the moment was. But was it earned? That's harder to say. The moment that lingers. The beauty and the horror of that final kill is how much it lingers. It forces us to question the hero we've followed for 3 seasons. It makes us wonder if justice can ever truly be clean. It asks whether a man like Reacher, forged in violence and shaped by war, can ever be trusted with the kind of power he wields. I keep replaying the scene in my head. The cold silence, the unreadable look in Reacher's eyes, the way Polly's body crumples like he never mattered at all. And I keep coming back to the same thought. It didn't have to be that way. Reacher has walked away from unnecessary kills before. He's made room.